This looks awfully familiar, but the 2025 Mini Cooper is quite different. I'll show you all the changes without wasting your time. I'll introduce you to Spike here and remind you to subscribe to the channel and watch these on your television. They look great. You'll see. At the root level, cars are transportation, but some transcend that. Mini Cooper adds pop culture statement, entertainment center, and art canvas to its conveyance mission. It has more personality per square inch than any machine on the road. If this one looks a bit different, it's because 2025s are the next generation, and there are significant changes. Unlike Countryman, that has grown quite a bit, this remains about the same size. Pricing starts at $30,000. This Cooper S in iconic trim stickers for $37,300 as tested. It may be the most configurable vehicle on the planet. There's the two-door, the four-door, the convertible. If you don't like the Sunnyside yellow paint, there are 9 others to choose from. 3 different colors of contrasting roof, plus wheels and stripes. This is not for the indecisive. Large and in charge is what we prefer in the land of the free, home of the brave. And even though we're suckers for an English accent, no amount of automotive charm will get Sequoia owners to switch to a Cooper hardtop. I'll climb onto my soapbox here and shout into the void that compact cars can be more relaxing to drive and park in urban areas. But then again, I'm an automotive writer, and the joke is we all love diesel station wagons with manual transmissions in brown paint. But really, for an urban runabout, the Oxford-assembled Cooper is a treat. Point made, let's move on. Love the clamshell bonnet on this. It's a British mark, it's not a hood. This could be the best in the business. At 2 liters and 4 pistons, the naturally aspirated version makes 161 horsepower. This S gets turbocharging, boosting it to 201 horses and 221 pound-feet of torque. There's a lot happening on the pie plate screen, but not everything. This display looks a lot better in person. FYI, John Cooper Works models get an extra 27 horses and 59 pound-feet. Mini's drive modes are called experiences, and there are a lot of them, lots of character too, both audible and visual. 3-pedal Mini Coopers are not a thing. The dual clutch has 7 speeds at the ready. Curiously, the S does not get shifty paddles here. The Cooper is strictly front-wheel drive, even the JCW. Cooper S zips to 60 miles an hour in 6 seconds. It takes just a beat for the engine to hit its power band sweet spot around 1,500 RPM, but then you're motoring. Wet pavement and leaves don't help much. Stand on the throttle hard, and there's a little bit of torque steer tugging on the wheel, but it's manageable. The engine is nice and smooth. The note has some character. Apparently, some of the snap, crackle, and pop comes from the speakers. It all sounds real. It all entertains the ears. That's not all that's engaging. Go-kart handling. Not just a marketing slogan, truth in advertising. There's nice bite on turn-in. This thing is just a joy to chuck into corners. It's fun all day long. I didn't notice a huge difference between the experience modes other than go-kart. Cooper S weighs 3,014 pounds. The Turbo 4 gives it good grunt in urban skirmishes. I'm curious how the higher performance John Cooper Works edition would feel on the street. There's a balance to the S's setup that really works. A lot of people are going to want a manual transmission in this car. I guess that's not happening. The consolation is the automatic is really good, nice, crisp, precise shifts. But paddles, where are the paddles? This deserves paddles. Move up to the JCW for those. The suspension is not adaptive or adjustable, doesn't need to be. The sport to comfort ratio is spot on. With a wheelbase of 101 inches, there's a little bucking on pavement with large bumps and heaves, but it's mild, considering. I have tried so hard to get a good shot of the head-up display speedometer. In person, it looks good. I just can't photograph it very well. I've tried. Visibility is pretty good, and smaller drivers might find the upright windshield a blessing, since steeply raked glass can create a big blind spot to the left. The average EPA fuel economy is 32 miles per gallon, whether it's the Cooper or the Cooper S, so if you go with more scoot, it's not hitting your wallet all that hard, except for both do want premium fuel. And the Cooper S does cost more initially. For those wanting to go electric, the SE is not making the trip to take the States. Nearly all cars have fuel-saving automatic engine stop-start systems. Some are better than others. This one is okay. You can turn it off, like most of them, but there's no button. You have to go into the menu, so it's not that easy. When it comes to active electronic ADAS safety tech, automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, active cruise control, and blind spot warning are available. Check when ordering your Cooper to make sure you get what you want. The Cooper's interior is worn like a roomy sweater, but doesn't feel tight or cramped. Every inch is used wisely. This isn't spacious for NFL or NBA athletes, but you knew that. The cabin inspiration comes from the original truly tiny Mini, but it's far more plush. Plus, this kind of tech was science fiction in the 1960s. Strap in. The cockpit is a huge change from the outgoing car. Nearly as configurable as the exterior, the door and dash material is woven and can be had with a houndstooth pattern, though I am curious how it will clean up compared to smooth surfaces. The heated wheel is hefty in hand. Nearly all of the toggle switchgear is gone, replaced with the offspring of an iPad and Frisbee. It's bright and crisp with spot-on touch response. The hitchhiker, well, that's Spike. Cat lovers can switch to a car avatar. There's a lot happening here, and even after a week, I didn't quite sort it all out. Some of the icons are tiny and tough to nail while driving, especially on rough roads. That's why natural voice commands are so important. This one is connected and adorable. Hey, Minnie. What time is it?
It's 5:21 p.m.
Hey, Minnie. You have an English accent.
I'm single and happy to be here.
All right, good to know. You can do all sorts of things, like control parts of the car. Hey, Minnie, turn on the heated steering wheel.
Steering wheel heating on.
Excellent. You can get directions. Hey, Minnie, any Mexican restaurants around?
I found a few options. El Chupacabra, 6711 Greenwood Avenue North.
Number one is pretty good. It also has a sense of humor. Hey, Minnie, tell me a joke.
Why should you always invite a mini convertible to your party? Because it'll raise the roof.
Dad jokes. The Charge Pad offers up a snug hug, holding tight in the hardest of go-kart maneuvers. The Mini app brings digital key to phones. You can check the car's status, plus send directions to the Navi system, and much, much more. Between Spike, Siri, and whatever Google calls its assistant, no one will be lonely in a Mini. This is a two-door Mini. No one's expecting MyPOC space back here, but it does pass the I'd rather ride back here than pay for an Uber test. I'm 5'9". I have just enough headroom with these seats adjusted for my driving position. I actually have enough knee and leg room, same with foot room for my size 11s. There's a cup holder, no USB ports or seat back pockets though. The seats are kind of upright, but again, this is a Mini. This back seat may seldom, if ever, get used. Back to the front, storage nooks are generally good, but you know, on the small side, of course. This is an armrest, it doesn't open. Nicely bolstered seats are heated, power is available, but sometimes motors slow things down. I prefer the manual shade. Ignition and transmission controls really feel like plastic. I'd happily pay an extra $20 for metal, maybe 30. Doing the TP trunk test, the Mini Cooper makes my job easy. No surprise, 2 packs is all the Charmin that squeezes in. It's just under 9 cubic feet. The floor is dual level for storing small things underneath. Being a BMW product, no surprise, there's no spare. All things considered, I can see owners keeping the backs folded much of the time. In that case, it measures out to 34.4 cubic feet. Pretty useful, actually. As the sun drops, the lighting experience rises, and not just out here. It's pretty dramatic in here. Colors and patterns change with the experiences. I originally thought this was backlit through the fabric, but it's projected. Kind of clever. It gets people's attention. There's ambient lighting in the door panels and such, but my camera isn't so great in low light. The two-door Cooper S will not be mistaken for anything other than a Mini. For a more modern look, these ditch the rectangular shape for triangles. Tailpipes have been hidden. This black bar adds visual width. No more jewelry on the front fenders either. The bulldog look moves from lovable pet next door to Westminster Kennel Club groomed. Small cars generally fall into the cheap and cheerful category. The Mini Cooper is premium transportation without the delivery truck dimensions. It's more than just a point A to point B machine. It has charm. Not many vehicles can say that. It's too bad that Americans don't like two doors or small vehicles. Thanks to BMW for not messing with the secret sauce. This thing is just a joy to squirt around corners in. I get it, people want bigger vehicles, but I have been able to score parking spots that a RAV4 would have to pass up. Just saying. I'd like to see the interface simplified a little bit, plus some paddle shifters in the standard models, if not a manual gearbox. Mini Cooper is an easy car to like, and with all the customization options, it can be personalized in a way that most other vehicles, large or small, can't be. That's a big deal. Eagle-eyed viewers and Mr. Whipple will notice that I used Charmin instead of my usual Kirkland brand for the trunk test. It's because warehouse number 1 was out. They were even really low on Charmin. I'm glad I got this. Hope that's not a COVID omen. Special thanks to Martin Campbell for driving duties. Normally, he sits back here while I shoot these segments and I pull him up, but this car is so small, there isn't room for him and my gear. To tell you what a great guy he is, his mom made sandwiches and he gave me not just 1, but 2. My wife is out of town, so he knows that I need to eat. He's a great guy. We should all have friends like Martin. Before I go, if you're wondering about the SE, the all-electric version of this, doesn't look like we're going to be getting that in the United States anytime soon. There are tariffs on Chinese-made vehicles. It would be too expensive. That's where the all-electric version of this is made. I nearly bought the first generation SE this summer because they were giving them away stupid cheap. And I know that I don't need more than 75 miles of range on a daily basis. But at the last minute, my wife said, "Wouldn't you rather have a Porsche Taycan?" And when your wife suggests something like that, you think twice about getting an electric Mini. I'm still thinking about it. We'll see. It's very expensive. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to the channel, click notifications, follow me on social media. And if you've got a question, leave it in the comments. I'm pretty good about getting back to people. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.